you have employed your own father.
Mm-hmm.
More than it being just a success, I would say it's more of a statement.
That is not a problem of the future, like AI will take your job, a problem of now that we need to fix with AI.
They say the future belongs to those who can imagine it. But what if the future isn't imagined by adults in boardrooms, but by a 16-year-old building AI tools that make a difference in law, business, and education? At 16, while most of us were figuring out who we wanted to be, Raul John Aju is already building what he believes the world needs.
A Google team. One of them just called him, "Hey Rahul, come here." They said, "Okay, you know what? We're opening it for you. I want you to come back." We were about to leave. He said, "Rahul, come back here. We're opening it for you." And I was so excited. I was like, as a father, I was like, wow, is this happening in front of me?
How would you redesign the education system?
I believe schools should not be inside four walls.
What scares you most about the future you're helping build with AI?
What if history doesn't repeat itself? What if it's just a bubble, right? And we are building a future that's safe, that AI doesn't kill us all. There are these large language models. Each time you ask a lot of questions and stuff, it actually affects our planet.
What would be your message for, I would say specifically to parents?
Let them grow. Let them learn from mistakes. Whole society tells you, have kids. They don't even teach you how to bring up a kid.
If you could teach every 10-year-old one skill for their future, what would that be?
Just be a good human.
An AI kid talking about being human.
Yeah. I would just say, let the children follow their passion, and children do follow your passion. Use AI and be as human as possible and be humble.
They say the future belongs to those who can imagine it. But what if the future isn't imagined by adults in boardrooms, but by a 16-year-old building AI tools that make a difference in law, business, and education? At 16, while most of us were figuring out who we wanted to be, Raul John Aju is already building what he believes the world needs. A coder at 10, a founder at 14, a teacher to thousands by 15, and by 16, the CEO of an AI company creating real-world solutions for justice to education to safety. Raul isn't just talking about the future, he is building it. And this is not just a story about AI. It's about the courage to lead, the discipline to learn, and the imagination to reimagine what is possible. And this is not just a story of a prodigy. It's a story of purpose, partnership, and what it means to lead with heart in a world driven by algorithms. So welcome to the show, Raul and Aju. It's a pleasure to have you both here today.
Thank you.
Great. So let me start with you. You are a 16-year-old and you have already built an AI company. You have built countless products, right? Different products in law, justice, education, etc.
Correct.
And you're now creating a movement, I should say an AI movement in India and abroad. Like you're making AI accessible for everyone.
Yes.
So where did all this start?
I mean, I always kind of, I'm not like something special or anything, okay? I not an AI or anything like that, but I started with just wanting, creativity, by just wanting to discover new things, by wanting, to learn new stuff. And I always used to ask my father, like, Papa, what is this? What is this? What is that? And he's like, just search it on phone, right? So kind of YouTube is how I got into things. And it was not always technology. It was about, acting. I liked acting. I used to do classical dance. I used to run marathons like 15 kilometers, 14 kilometers. So I used to do different stuff. But the main thing is that I stumbled upon technology like with video editing. And that is the main reason I got into AI, and kind of that was the starting with everything, just going out there, finding what my passion is.
Okay. So since you said that you just stumbled upon AI, right? When did AI stop being that amazing, cool thing, and then you realize that AI could actually solve real-world problems?
I mean, so when I discovered AI, the reason was when I was video editing, it took 2 months for me to edit a normal video.
Okay.
But there was an AI tool that helped me do it in 2 days. I was like, wow, like, I didn't even know it was AI back then. But then I started, talking about it on YouTube. I made a video to promote it. I went to this app Clubhouse. So in that app Clubhouse, what I did is that I started talking about my video. Got to market my video too, right?
Okay.
So a lot of people loved it, and especially from US that side. That's when a principal asked me if you can take a session for one of our children, like classes. So I said yes, obviously. But there were also other people like from NASA and a lot of other big people, which also I was able to gain another perspective on AI. Not just the cool thing like you can just type and get things like, write your homework, but also that it is actually the future. It can change a lot of stuff. And that was the point when I realized that kind of. So, yeah.
So that's the point you realize that you could actually solve real world problems
Correct.
with AI, right?
I mean, there's a story. A scammer tried to scam me, and
Okay.
with the help of AI, I turned him into an author.
That's an
So
interesting story. I would like to know more.
definitely. I mean, so what happened was a scammer tried to scam me around like 2-3 years back when I was first getting into AI. Like I just knew ChatGPT and stuff, and I was like, why not play with him a bit? So there was this video by Marcus Brownie. I think one of the videos, and he's like, "You're Marcus Brownie. I'm Marcus Brownie. You win the giveaway." So I was like, "Contact me on Telegram." That's when I knew it is a scam. But I was like, let's take it ahead. Why not have fun? So I messaged him on Telegram. He's like, yeah, sure. This is you want one of the iPhone 12 or something, and you just have to share me your address and you can give it for free. I was like, okay. I shared him a fake address. He's like, but you have to pay the shipping cost. I was like, okay, sure. But then I was like, I know you're scamming. I made him click on a link
Okay.
that gives me all the details. So, like, kind of where he's from, all that kind of details,
Wow.
which phone he's using, browser and stuff. So, with that, I was like, I know you're scamming me, but don't block me. I can tell you an easier way to get money. So, kind of, he was like, okay. So, I taught him how he can, kind of in Nigeria and stuff, writing about that place, what's his story, and he actually sold his book on Amazon. And once he sold it, he actually started getting money. But also, I was blocked after that by him. But I'm very happy that he was,
But you are
able
happy
to-
that you were the reason that he
Yeah.
moved from scamming people to actually doing something productive.
Correct. And the reason he was able to write those books was AI. Because he didn't have the best grammar out there. So hopefully he didn't start using AI for scamming again. But luckily it helped him.
Let's hope. Let's hope
Yeah.
he's using AI for the best, right?
Correct. So,
Now, I would like to know a little bit more about Raul from you, Aju. I know he doesn't like to be called a genius, but the kid behind the genius. I would like to know how was Raul when he was growing up? What was his childhood years like? Was he always this curious kid, or is there anything that changed which made him like, okay, this is what I want to do? What is this story?
So, like he was saying, he said, like, we want our kids to ask questions, right? When they grow up. So, I told him, ask questions.
Okay.
Don't hesitate. But then it got to my nerve. He used to keep asking about anything and everything. Papa, why is this like this? Why is that like that? So, he had his phone with him. I said, why don't you use your phone? And that's where he started using internet. And he used to watch YouTube videos. And that's where he learned how to get information from it. He learned how to distinguish between fake news and good stuff. So yeah, that is where he actually got into this. And then I used to send him videos, whatever I used to watch,
Okay.
go and watch it, but he never watched any. So once I was just checking his history, and I saw that he was watching people who are far better than people I follow. Then I never forward him any more messages. So I mean, he is a normal kid. He is an enthusiastic kid. I would say he's above average.
Okay.
Okay, and like many other kids, the only thing he has got is he has got access to information, and I think he has got the playground to play it.
That's interesting. So I'm a mother of twin baby boys, and because you said that you gave him a mobile and you asked him to explore in that mobile. So when did you start it, and how did you ensure that whatever he does, because that's a big world you're introducing to him at such a young age, right? So when did you start doing it, and also how did you control, or how did you make sure that he would stay within the safe zone?
So I never controlled him. I don't think I should have. the thing is, the more you control, the more they rebel. That's what kids are, right? So I thought, okay, just give it to him. But I would always keep a watch. Okay, I wouldn't tell him, but I would always keep a watch on what he's doing. And I can, till today, I don't think he has let me down. So I mean, that's human psychology, right? You tell them not to do something, and they would do it.
They would do it, exactly.
More than a rebel, I feel, you're more curious about it
Yeah.
when you kind of can't do it. So.
True, that's true. I would like to reframe it like that. They're more curious, and they're always very
Correct,
curious.
correct.
And it's we who kill their curiosity, unfortunately. And I'm glad that you had your father who was actually always keeping an eye on you, at the same time letting you explore without any boundaries the way you wanted to. And it's he's really proud of you when he was saying that he never let me down until now. So I can see that in
Hopefully, he keeps it in his mind.
Hopefully. I believe that there is always a deep reason between why people do extraordinary things.
Okay.
So, what is your why behind all that you do?
So I don't believe I'm doing anything extraordinary out of the ordinary. I am just doing what I like. I'm just following what my life's aim is. But the reason I do all this is to make the world a better place, because I've seen a lot of stuff from the time when I was a child, including YouTube videos of situations of a lot of places, which I do want to make it better. Yesterday also, like, I got to know a lot of stuff which I just want to make it better, the world. I can't say a lot of stuff, but the thing is that I want to be in a place where before I leave, I want to create an impact in this world, with or without technology, no matter what. And that's what I'm trying my best to do.
Have you thought of what would that impact be?
I mean, I'm never like fixed, like by the age of 25 I want to do this, by the age of 30, but I'm also not just going with the flow. I like this year my aim was kind of like, being able to create like internationally a bit of impact, nationally, and I was able to do that a bit. I was also planning on kind of even increasing my followers and subscribers. I was like very happy that I could do that. Also, the fact that one thing that was not in my mind was to create like sessions. So I was able to train a lot of around 200K views I got out of a video. That many people. So free course which I had, a 30 days challenge. Basically, I was teaching about AI for free for 30 days. Starting from what is AI, being able to train their own AI. There are a lot of paid courses, but I believed like at least the basics of AI knowledge should be free, and I was able to even do that, right? Which was not planned. So I just do think sometimes with the flow, sometimes I think about it, and that is why Thinkcraft Academy and all that's why I did. The 30-day challenge is part of that. But even, there was a mission that we did, NEP mission, with a lot of other kids around India, where I love my education, but I wanted to make it better. So a lot of kids around India, a lot of people got together to create an education impact, and we were able to do a few things as well. A lot of kids were pointing them out what they could improve in their education. A lot of kids were making videos tagging us, and we were happy that we could give them a platform like that, right? So I was able to do that. Now I want, from agriculture to education, I want to impact everywhere in a way such that just like UPI in India, you can go scan a QR code and you can do payment. It's very convenient.
Yes.
I want to have that convenience. I want to give that an extra convenience in people's life, just like that. Where people don't even realize that they're getting the convenience, but it's a norm in their life. I want to do something like that. That's why even the rescue AI in law also, I'm trying to simplify it as well.
Okay. Can you elaborate a bit about that?
Rescue?
Yeah.
So rescue is kind of an AI which I built. Imagine, not everyone knows the laws, right? Even I don't know what laws. But so it tells you what to do in an emergency situation. Things that you might not even think of. Immediate steps, right? Block your IMA number if your phone got lost. Check for CCTV cameras. Remember the face. In a dangerous situation, you might forget the face of the person that took your phone in a theft. And it will tell you the right laws according to BNS section 303, theft. So it will tell you the right laws, it will tell you the immediate steps, and it will give you the nearest police station link. And what it will do is it will connect you to a lawyer when in need. So the lawyer, you can draft contracts there, you can upload a certain contract. There are clauses in a contract, right?
Yes.
It will say what are the high risk, medium risk in a contract, what could be better. Not just that, based on previous cases, it will tell the lawyer how you can win the case with the right articles and laws. Based on like previous data, AI can tell that. And it's not just like AI chatbots, like creating contracts and all. In the emergency only, imagine you're feeling a little scared walking through a dark valley. it will tell, like, you can have a safety check-in. So 30 minutes later, if you don't click on yes on your phone, it will reach out to all your emergency contacts, and it will reach out to the police if you check that as well. So if you're not feeling safe, you can just turn this on, and if you don't click on yes, if the check-in is not corrected, or if you don't click on yes, it will reach out to the contacts. So it will make sure you're safe. You'll have that peace of mind, you know. So lot of things like this, from emergency to law, because we are trying to be an aggregator, kind of like Uber, you know, connecting common people to lawyers and trying to solve this law problem. We have a lot of other AI tools that we are working on, but this is kind of like the front end of where I'm trying to solve this law. Even education, like I said, the other mission NAP which we were doing. So I'm trying to do everything as such, but also not trying to put everything on my head. That's why I'm working with a lot of friends and all, trying to do these stuff and putting it out there. And obviously my father is supporting me. Not that I'm forced to say it, but joking, but yeah, he is doing that as well.
That's brilliant. So let me ask you this. How do you identify or how do you decide which problems requires to be solved? Is that something which comes organically or you are intentional about it?
So I interact with a lot of people whenever I go to events. I talk with a lot of people. I watch a lot of very videos, and even in my schools, a lot of people tell me, you know, our students only tell me, girls, guys, about the problems that they face. Even you know, when not just these events, when I go to YouTube, I see about climate change, this, that. Even in AI, there's a lot of problem with climate change in that, which a lot of people are not talking. But I wanted to talk about all this, right? That was what my aim was, and not just talk, because everyone talks. I wanted to do something about this. Whatever I face, whatever other people are talking about, whatever people are telling me about, I wanted to create a solution to this. I wanted to create an impact, not just talk about it whenever I go take sessions. I wanted to create a bigger impact, not just
So not
inspire.
just talk about what you want to do, but act on and create solutions for real problems and actual problems.
Correct.
You were also mentioning about the climate change related to AI.
Yeah.
I know a bit about it, but can you elaborate for the audience, because it's something which we barely talk about.
Correct. What I feel is that when you're using AI, there's a lot of data, right? When we are using a brain, we use our energy to go through all that data. Similarly with AI, right? There are these large language models. Each time you ask a lot of questions and stuff, it actually affects our planet a lot. You know, the servers that where the AI is running from is through your phone, but it's through an internet, and it's through the main computer of Google or OpenAI. And these servers need AC, right? 24/7, water cooling, and every time you ask a question, it takes more energy. How do you get the energy? By coal burning. What does coal burning have? Carbon dioxide. So it in turn does affect our planet, and that is something that is not a problem of the future, like AI will take your job, a problem of now that we need to fix with AI. And that's what, right? Like I'm focusing on AI for law, AI for, you know, DevOps. So AI for specific things, because that will decrease the things that we ask a bigger model. Because the bigger the model, like ChatGPT can do everything. The bigger the model, the more impact to climate.
Interesting. So what you're saying is that when you have specific LLMs created for specific issues, then it will reduce the impact on the climate because it takes lesser energy because they're trained for that specific reason rather than a generic LLM like ChatGPT.
Definitely. That's what I feel. And there's one of my mentors, Danish. He actually told me about SLMs, a concept that we are working on, kind of like opposite of large language models, small language models, right? Smaller for certain tasks, and it will take much more. It doesn't have to be billion parameters and all. Much smaller, but easier to use.
Easier and very specific to specific use cases.
Correct. And it will be more accurate. I think that's the future we're looking for.
Okay,
So, yes.
it's very interesting. I can actually just talk about this the entire podcast. You have almost, or you are achieving kind of what many adults are, you know, have dreamt to achieve. You have already achieved many of those things. You are a speaker. You are a content creator. You are an educator. But have you ever felt that you're losing your childhood in this journey?
No. I mean, personally for me, I think you should ask my father as well, but I have kind of never felt that. Yes, sometimes I do, like I have to travel here, I can't be with my, you know, friends too often, but I still go to school. I go there kind of to socialize even, you know. I go to them, I understand their problems. Like I'm a very, like sports day, I was there. The whole day I was just chilling with them, you know. I still go study. Even I met my friend 2-3 years later, after a long time, a lot of my friends, and I meet a lot of friends, get a lot of friends because of this AI space from around India, which are very close to me as well, like Shaurya, Pariniti, and stuff, not stuff, but them, people. But, even in school, I have a lot of friends. I was, one of the biggest things in school which I've noticed is, you said I was humble. Trust me, I'm not like humble like that. But the reason is I've seen how, kids in my school even are satisfied with what they have. I go to a government school and they don't want to become the next big Elon Musk. They just want to become a bank manager. They just want to make their parents proud. They are very satisfied with where they are. And I mean, overall satisfaction is not good, but being that humble, what they have, I've noticed that. And I have been around, from rich to poor to a lot of type of people as well. And I've learned a lot of things seeing different types of people, not just rich and poor, but like different characteristics, different personalities. And I've been able to learn from that, become friends with a different type of people, grow as a person because of that. And I feel, other than that, enjoying my childhood, I still was enjoying, Doraemon and all. I used to watch Doraemon and Shinchan the whole time. I had a Doraemon filter to Doraemon backpack to Doraemon pen to Doraemon shirt, shorts. I mean, Doraemon, everything, lunchbox, plate, glass. I think like once I come home, I used to watch Doraemon like full time. So I still enjoy that side of childhood. I still go out with my friends, at night, 1 a.m. sometimes even. I go to school and cycle. So yeah, we're just still enjoying.
You're enjoying it. That's amazing. You're enjoying it, and you're kind of finding a balance between both.
You can't say I found the exact balance because I'm
Balance,
still
yes.
balancing, but yeah, trying my best because I don't want to lose my childhood because it
Yes.
doesn't last long.
True.
So
That's
yeah.
true. But it's amazing that you're kind of trying to find a balance, and I believe your father is also helping you with that.
Yeah, correct.
You have employed your own father.
Mhm.
More than it being just a success, I would say it's more of a statement.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Correct. So, how did you feel? Or let me phrase it this way. Probably he came and told you that I want to work with you. Right? He was working in multinational companies.
Correct.
He was working in IBM, Adobe, and all of that. He left all of it to come and join you. And when he said that, probably at a moment he said, "Okay, I'm thinking of it. I'm coming to join you and partner with you." How was that feeling?
I was like, cool, my father is now working for me. I mean, to be honest, it's a joke. But like, I don't have experience, right? I can gain as much as knowledge from my phone, right? I can gain it. But experience is different, right? Learning from your failures. Half the time I don't listen to him. That's another thing. I do my own stuff. And whenever I do his advice, sometimes does work. Even my mother's. So, but on the other hand, when my father tells me something, we work together, we collaborate with his experience and my kind of knowledge on AI and his knowledge as well. We kind of, create something better than just one person trying to do everything, doing it. It is harder for me to as manage. And trust me, one thing I'll be public is that, my father working for me, that was kind of like, just saying it as a joke in the States, but I don't know how it got so viral.
It became a PR. It became a statement.
It did very much. I mean, like, okay. But yeah, we did discuss about it. That, are you okay with me saying it? He's like, yeah, say anything. He's like, doesn't care. It's like, say anything. I'm okay with it. But I was like, okay.
So I want to ask Aju, how was your feeling working for him or working with him? That would be the right way to say it.
I mean, when you work in a corporate environment, basically you see, it's like a family working together, right? That's how they try to make you work
Make you
together.
feel, yes.
I'm having my family with me. So,
I mean, one thing is there, we don't try to mix both. Family and work are
Work is
kind of
different,
different,
yeah.
but still, yeah.
You have the boundaries which you have said. But what was the feeling? Because I'm a mother, okay, and I feel that it'll be my dream to work with my children and spend that time with them. I don't know when they come to that age whether they even would want to work with. That's a different question. But how did you feel about it?
see, it didn't come all of a sudden. It came organically, okay, over time. And I saw that he's achieving things. There are a lot of times when I tried to, pull him back, not show him to the outside world because
Okay.
I knew he was growing fast. What I tried to do was, then I realized that, rather than him having people who would utilize him, right? It's better I stay with him. I mean, I'm his father end of the day, right?
Yeah.
You are protective as a parent. So that's what I did, and I have also failed a lot of times. So you wouldn't want your son to fail.
Yeah, true.
I mean, that's the first thing I taught him is to fail.
Fail. Yeah,
Okay, but
that's the best thing you can teach
yeah,
as a parent, actually.
and he
Yes.
learns from his mistakes. I'll tell him. I mean, we discuss a lot of things on what to do. He keeps talking to me.
Papa this I told, Papa that I told.
I'm like, Raul, please enough.
Get
So-
some friends.
Yeah, get some friends, and that's how. And then I tell him to experiment. Like, I give him my point of view. I gives his. We do argue. We fight. We shout at each other.
Very much.
Okay, and but then end of the day, I think after 5 minutes we are just the same. Okay, I mean,
Like, Papa.
yeah, he makes sure he does that,
Yeah.
or I make sure I do that.
Raul, eh?
Yeah, we do that. We actually do that.
That's amazing.
So, and then he sees some things work,
Yeah.
some things don't.
True.
But it's, I think together, it makes a lot of sense. And it's not just me. There are people around him who helps him out a lot of experience. I mean, his mother has been very supportive with him. I mean, so yeah, I mean, we are just lucky to have good people around us.
That's brilliant. This is what I believe, okay? Good people always attract good people. Right? To some extent. Like, okay, there'll be a lot of outliers, definitely, but majority you kind of attract your energy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that too. There are a lot of times when there are people trying to take advantage of us. Sometimes we even have, but you have to learn from
Yes.
that, right? But a lot of my friends and all, I've seen the like-mindedness, their vibe. It's very good to talk to them. You learn from them. I try to have people. You're the average of 5 people are around
Yes,
with.
yes.
So try to have people that are way smarter than me, and it's easy to find them. But like like Shaurya and all, they're doing very crazy things, and all of them, I try to have people that are smarter than me, including my father. Yeah, you are smart at some ways only, but yeah, they're just like that.
He's definitely smart at
Some ways,
Power.
some ways you'll not. But yeah, joking.
So, how was working from corporates different from working for Raul?
Yeah, you're working for me. How was it?
Oh,
You'll not get fired. Be honest.
so you get to learn a lot of things, right? When you're working with corporates, it's all processes. Okay, how SLAs, satisfaction of customers, your employees, and we have a startup,
Sure.
right? And there are no processes. Although you want to do things on a process, most of the things are not there. But what actually surprised me was initially when I was not with him, I seen the way he works,
Okay.
his editing team, his how he works with his colleagues. He actually does project management. He used Notion, and he records his videos and puts it on his Notion and says this is, and leaves an annotation. This is what has to be done, a command. And the others, they pick it up and they say this is what I've done so much, and then the other people, they take, okay, this is the final product,
Okay.
and then he sends to him to review it. I was like shocked that he was doing this. I was really shocked. I
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
got the people from my company to go and learn from a kid.
Wow.
Okay, I mean, I did that.
Yeah.
Not because he was my son, but somebody of his age could do that. You guys
Yes.
should do it too.
True.
Because at the end of the day, they are all just processes.
Exactly.
And what we are trying to do in our company is just like we should have fun. I mean, this is something my professional life taught me. Have fun and enjoy your work, right? And I think that's what he is trying to do. Many times, whatever he goes and says in interviews,
Okay.
I'm happy listening to it because these are things that I wanted to do, right?
Yes.
We have never discussed a lot of these things.
Okay.
But when you see that, okay, follow your passion, I'm like, wow, this is what I wanted to do.
And your
Yeah.
child is doing it. And that's also something which every parent, we were also discussing this before, right? Every parent want to follow generally what they wanted
Correct.
in their
Yeah,
lives for their
definitely.
children. But in your case, it just happened, I would say, again, organically with Raul, because you
I guess
told
then
me.
just let your child follow what they want, then they will automatically come to your path.
It's like this, okay? I mean, the people you love, you want them to do what they want, right?
Yeah.
You want their happiness. That's just a simple thing that I did. Okay, yes, I do have issues in some things that he does. He's still a child to me. Okay, no matter what he is.
Yeah. No
Okay.
matter the
60 years
age.
old, he'll still
No
call me his
matter the
child.
age. No. See, even today, I am a child to my father.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a normal, and I can understand that because now we are parents. I'm sure that my child will definitely be my child, however old he is. So yeah,
Biggest takeaway from the podcast: how much ever big or anything you do, you'll still be a
No,
child
but
in
I'm
front of
lucky
your
in one
parents.
more thing is he still comes to me, sleeps with me, hugs me, and I'm still proud of that. I'm like, okay, when I was at this age, this is not something I could do with my parents.
yeah.
Why?
Actually, that's a very good point which Aju brought here on the table. Is that as boys grow up, they don't generally have a very good relationship with their fathers. I have seen that with mostly, generally. But you have a very beautiful relation. I can see that here, and I saw that earlier as well. Like you have such an amazing relationship with you both share with each other. How how is it? Like how what happens and what are you doing to make that happen?
I mean, we don't do anything. I mean, see, we have fights. I mean, we have fights. WWC next. But like, after that, I'm like, Appa, you free? Like, yeah. But also things that we communicate everything. You know, it's like, Papa, I have this problem, that. I put him a voice message. You know, I have this, that. We can either this, that. Then he's like, he puts a voice message. But at the end, we both are like, okay, we find a compromise. But at the end, the thing is about it, you just talking and telling them. You know, I just try to tell him whatever it is there. Appa, I have this problem, rather than keeping it to me. And I mean, he's like, even if you don't tell me a problem, tell someone. Don't keep it in you. You know, that's what he tries to tell me. And in that way, we are pretty close. You know, kind of. So like, we don't have any grudge between us. If anyone tries to manipulate us, like Rahul, your father told me that this happened, I don't say yeah. I talk to him, right? They think we don't have that communication, but we do, right? They can't kind of do that, because even if he answers my email, even if I go and do the stuff, we communicate how it was, what it is, right? That is one of the main things according
So,
to me. But
what I
is,
hear you say is communication.
yeah,
Right? Basic,
in any
just communicate.
any
It's the same in
relationship,
any
yeah,
relationship, right? Amazing, brilliant.
Just one thing I would like to
Sure.
add.
only one thing.
See, I'm his father.
Yes.
Okay, he knows that I'll take care of him.
You bet.
Okay, I mean, he knows that I'll be there for him, and I know the same thing too, right? So we know that we're not saying anything bad for the other person. I think again, backing this happens in any relationship.
Yeah,
If you have that trust, I think it should work out, right?
Yeah. Your relationship doesn't have that ego. You mentioned about the grudge, but there is no ego. There might be fights, definitely, which any relationships we will have.
Yeah, I'm being open
But
about
at the
it.
same time, you find a way to actually communicate back and make sure you stay connected. And communication is key. That's what I hear as
I mean, he puts me down also. Rahul, you have only these many followers on LinkedIn. He told me a year, I think. So when I grew on Insta, first he was like, I have the most Instagram followers out of you and all. I was like, okay, sure. Then I grew. He's like, then he was like, LinkedIn, YouTube. So I was like, YouTube also I grew. Then it was like LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I was like, I have 3,000 followers. And recently I crossed 4,000. So I was like, up and down what? Like, check it out. I have more followers than you. Then he's like, what about Facebook? You can't do it. I know he's trying to just, act like he's putting me down, but just helping me grow. But, it's like, that is kind of our thing. And I make fun of it, like, what is your video quality? You don't know how to even shoot. You don't know how to take a camera. Your OnePlus phone, very bad. That blurs stuff, doesn't have battery. So, yeah.
brilliant. I'm loving this energy and the synergy you have between both of you.
Thank you.
You mentioned earlier that you have around 12 people working for you, right? And most of them are older
Correct.
people, like adults. And me being in the corporate, I have heard countless time young leaders say that it's very difficult when they become a new manager and when they have to lead older people, they find it very difficult to lead them.
Correct.
And they have all of these issues, and sometimes they fail in their leadership also because they can't lead older people. So I'm curious to know, how do you do it so seamlessly, so effortlessly?
I mean, I try not to be a boss, but rather lead everyone. So I don't just grow everyone grows as me. Trust me, we have problems. It's like tomorrow I have a reel, they don't do it, I'm like, what? So I'd rather try to communicate. I'm not like, the best leader or anything out there. I'm also learning as time. But when I have a problem, I just don't scream at them, but I just, try to uh, tell them what is the thing, do this next time, do that. I might still scream at them, but I will not like that. But like, I mean, like, tell the points and next time do this please, then or put it to, I give them a solution of how not to make the same mistake again. That's what I try to do. And I've also learned a lot about being a leader from my father as well in that way. So yeah.
Amazing. You have trained over 140,000 people on AI. What is one of the biggest myths or misconceptions you have heard people say, or what generally people have about AI?
What could, I mean, there's a lot of miscommunication. Like, for example, misconception about one of the things is that AI is going to take over the world. Everyone has that. And I'm not saying no, maybe it might. But it's also about our responsibility of making sure that doesn't happen by talking about it less, kind of, AI learns from the internet, right? And when we talk about more on of that in the internet, he just learns from that. He's like, okay, well, that is my aim, that is an option, right? But rather we should have kind of points, like our government should have laws protecting us against these. Like, AI should not be used a lot in defense, kind of, then it will use against us. It will know how defense work rather than it learning on its own. Lot of things like that, right? But people have that misconception. I feel like AI taking over their job is another thing, like mainly those stuff. But also people think I'm a big prodigy, that I have this hidden talent from the time I was a kid. Do I feel I've just failed faster. I just enjoy what I do. I just keep on going rather than stopping in one place. That's the only thing I would say I have, and everyone else has. They just have to start doing. Just start doing and you'll experience success. It will take time. I started creating videos a long time ago and I recently started getting these, right? So it will take time, but you just have to keep on going rather than stopping. But it's not about, my stuff or AI taking over the world. There's a lot of other things that people have, like AI is magic, AI is just a prediction. It just predicts the next thing. It just predicts the next pixel. It just predicts the next frame. It's just a prediction. Just like AI predicts your autocorrect, what you want to type next. That's it.
You are simplifying AI for many people and breaking all the myths of AI. And that's what I love about you, because you are kind of making AI accessible for everyone. Me coming from a technology space, I know that what people think about AI is like it's something big and not accessible, because they feel that it's something which they don't understand. But
Correct.
what you're doing as an educator, as a content creator, is making and breaking those myths of AI and making it more accessible for everyone.
Definitely. I mean, that's what I tried, because a lot of videos are there online. I just sleep off by the end of it, learning about a lot of AI stuff. But I want to make it interesting. That's why the 30-day challenge and all is like a structured. You learn from what is AI, like by the end being able to train in a full playlist. Right? You just have to go to my YouTube channel and you get it. Marketing, but but what I'm trying to say, that I always say go to YouTube and learn. Most of the videos are boring, and I agree that. That's what I am trying to do in the YouTube. Right? Try to create fun, animated videos, how I learn, how I show perspective. Similar to what I do on Insta. Insta, I try to solve problems like finding the perfect hairstyle or finding the perfect dress to match, which I don't know that much, but finding the perfect shirt and pair of dress to wear, or just removing backgrounds on in a video. Real life problems that people face, I try to solve that with AI. Now also I'm planning to do these skits, AICU, like AI Cinematic Universe, kind of like where different characters are there, ChatGPT, Perplexity, they're all talking, like a very funny skit, but also give them information, like edutainment, right? I'm trying to do all this on Insta, then YouTube, like I said, go in depth, but fun, very fun way. So that's what I'm trying to do with all this, rather than it being very complicated. Even when I take sessions, I have videos generated by AI. Me as a genie, me as a chef, talking about how when you talk to genie, if you say give me $1 million, it can give you US or it can give you Canadian $1 million. You have to be exact with the prompt. A prompt we use in ChatGPT as well. You have to exact with the prompt in ChatGPT. that is prompt engineering, right? I try to smoothly transition. Then I talk about like having genie and all have people have tried to have fun. I don't know about that if they have fun, but I try to make them have fun, right? That is what my aim is, because I don't want it's not as boring as what people think. There's a very fun perspective and fun way to learn it. Then that's what I try to do.
What I hear you say is that you are just making education fun,
Correct.
right? That's a different way of educating people. And what I have learned from, like, for example, when I did the NLP course, which is all about the neuro linguistic programming and the psychology of humans,
Okay.
we learn better when we laugh.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
When we
correct.
laugh and when we have fun, then that learning is much more faster, and it also embeds in our brain better. And that's what I believe what makes you unique
I
as
also
an educator.
learned that in one video. So, like when you watch, like behind those signs of YouTube, when you click on a YouTube video, there's a hook, there's retention editing, relation editing, there's a lot of science behind a YouTube video. So, when I learned that kind of psychology, also, I learned from a lot of videos. And with that, it also helped me in this. So, please continue. Sorry,
No. That's what I was saying. Yeah, what you're saying about the structure of a video, from being a hook to having the content structure in threes, and then finally having a CTA or conclusion. There's definitely a structure and a science behind everything. So that what I was saying is that as an educator, you are doing it right, because you are making learning fun and making things accessible for people through fun. Right?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's take a moment here, and I want to ask both of you something, because I was saying, right, I love the synergy. I love how powerful your relationship or relationship is, just to be specific. So I want to ask you, to Raul specifically, what have you learned from your father that shaped how you lead?
Nothing. Joking. I mean, everyone shapes you to who you are, who I am. And the part of the leading, I felt I got it from him. I mean, kind of how. So there was a time where 2018 there was a flood in Kerala, and 3 days the metro, around 600 people, was under him. He is a very common person. He never worked in metro or anything, but he got it under and he knew how to lead it. Okay. During the flood, he was kind of helping people, volunteering and stuff. And I saw that, as a child, I saw that and I learned how they do it. How my father was leading, how my father was not just, by bossing people around, but rather making everyone work as a team, right? And I noticed that not just like in the metro, this place, wherever he worked, from Adobe to a lot of places where he worked at, that's what I noticed from him.
Okay, so the question to you is, Aju, what have you learned from him? What has made you so proud about how the way he leads?
Be careful with your answer.
He's very disciplined.
I am, and you say I'm not disciplined always.
And he has got hunger for knowledge, and I like the way he is leading people. Especially, I just listen to him when he talks to his people. Even when he was talking about you earlier, I was just quiet because this is what I do. I just listen to what he's doing. Okay, I just tell him, don't eat too much of their head. Okay, he has never shouted at anybody. I don't know where he has learned from on how to lead, but see, what I'm trying to do is shaping him up. In future he has to most probably lead people, right?
Yeah.
So instead of learning from him, I do learn a lot from him on how to talk to people. His level of patience is very high. Okay, but on top of that, I'm just happy that he's doing these things. He learns from a lot of people around.
Okay.
And if you ask him whom do you follow, he would not say one name. He would say a lot of names, and that's what I like about him. He takes the best of a lot of other people, not the negatives, just the positives, and tries to make himself better every other time. So this is something everyone should learn.
Yeah, the mindset to learn from anybody and everybody.
I'm flying in air right now. Cloud 9.
I will give you more opportunity to fly in here.
Good, nice.
Yeah, because you were already mentioning, but I want to ask you this. Do you you said that you do argue with each other,
Yeah.
right? About everything, about business, about
That-
technology, about everything.
Even personally, Papa, why did you keep the plate here? No, my father asked me, why didn't you wash it? I was like, Papa, I'm coming. That's what.
Okay, so in these fights, is there any specific person who eventually wins every time?
I mean, is there? Let me think. I mean, most of the time he uses his father card. I'm your father.
Okay.
But yeah, obviously. But also at the end, we just, kind of talk after some time. We finally reach the conclusion. So after the fight, we fight, then we're like, I'm going, Appa. He's like, I go. Then we calm down. We think who is the one. Okay, then we come back. Then we say, like, okay, I'm sorry. This, that. So it's like, okay, Appa. Then we talk about kind of, what we can do. And then we reach a conclusion. So there's not a particular winner. We rather work together to create one answer. Like what do you say? The right word is not kind of leaving
Eventually, you both win.
Yeah,
Together.
correct. We
And
both
you both
win.
win together.
That's what we
right?
try to do.
Because you, at the end of the day, try to figure out what's the right way to do it together.
Correct. And we
then-
try both sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Very interesting. It's something which every father or every parent and child should learn from both of you. Like, how do you actually convert fights or disagreements? I would rather call it disagreements rather than fights.
Yeah,
right?
actually.
Disagreements into something very constructive. And so that you can move together in the relationship and move together in life as well.
Correct. Definitely.
Thank
Very true.
Okay. So, one more thing before we go back into the podcast part. If you could tell each other one thing which you haven't told each other yet, what would that be?
What would that be? Tell me.
No, that's a
You
secret. I'm going to say.
Tell me. I'll tell you.
He already knows. So
I don't know.
No, actually, he knows, but I haven't told him.
What?
Like earlier, he was talking about his LinkedIn and all those things.
yes.
So you tell your kid to do this, they're not going to do it. So what
You're
I
playing the reverse psychology.
yeah, this is something I learned, I think, in my childhood.
Okay.
The reverse psychology. So that kind of works. It works like a charm.
It doesn't work. I know what you're trying to do. I just said it.
Yeah, like I said.
But it has worked so far.
I mean, that is just to kind of, obviously I have to keep on growing, but
Okay.
then I like to show it to space. Like I grew.
Yeah. So
Like,
that's working. Then that's working.
in one way. Yeah.
Yeah. And what about you?
I mean, I tell him everything. There's nothing that, what is there? I mean, nothing like that. Means I tell him mostly everything.
We basically try to communicate almost everything.
Trans.
What I'm going through, what he is going through, mostly is what I'm going through. So because I have to justify my actions at times, okay, where I break out or something like that. But yeah, we talk almost everything, everything under the sun, almost anything under the sun. I don't think we have secrets from each other.
That's very good.
Yeah.
You said something now that you sometimes have to justify
Of
what
course.
you have told or why you acted in a way. Not many parents do that. Right?
I mean, I
sometimes
always-
they just do it, and you have to just, or probably I don't know whether they think that you know it, but not everybody explains why they did.
You know, one of the good things about my parents, actually, both my mother even, is that they both explain why they did something, why they fight. And everyone, they're human beings, right? They will kind of lash out. But after that, they come to you, they're like, Raul, this could be it. Why you could have done it like that also. Sorry, I did this. But they tell me the why, right? Because a lot of kids, they just, kind of get hit or just get angry, yelled at, and they
Yes.
just go. They don't even know what they did wrong,
Yes.
right? That's not the answer, right? Rather, tell them the reason. It's fine. You're human beings, lash out, okay. But after then, they should know the reason so they don't repeat it the next time. And that's what I believe in.
That's a very good parenting tip from both of you. Like, at least tell them the why behind why you acted in a specific way, because that clarity will help the children to move forward and understand what to do next.
Definitely. Correct.
Great. Okay, so let's go back to what we were discussing earlier.
Yeah.
You often talk about making India go from AI curious to AI serious. Can you elaborate a bit more about it?
So, like, I have different courses, by the way. They're free, but AI curious to AI serious, AI learner to AI earner, AI earner to AI owner. So, these are the three things I have. And the basics of AI is going AI curious to AI serious. And that is the basics of learning about from the starting of what is AI, being able to make your own AI. And people need to know that basics at least in the coming future. And when I talk about AI learner to AI earner, someone who's already learning about AI but implementing it into whatever they do, their daily workflow, their business, their daily life, right? And at least being able to start learning from it. And the last course, the free one only, is that AI earner to AI owner is when you are in business, right? You're scaling, you have a pretty big business. How do you integrate AI there? You can't have the same building vault or something that small companies use, right? So that is that. So all these, but the basics that all Indians should know is the AI Curious to AI series, where they should know the basics of how AI works and how can we take advantage of it. So future, we are not just users, but we are innovators of the certain tool or AI, right? That's what we need to do, because India, like I say it everywhere, does not need to kind of join the race. We can create our own race because we kind of didn't use computers. We skipped that whole thing to mobile phones, right? We can do that. We can still, but for that we need thinkers, right? Not followers. So yeah, I just said a lot of quotes, but yeah, that's what
You said a lot of things in this one single response. So first thing what you said was what I loved about your course names: great play of words and brilliant strategy, brilliant marketing strategy, but great play of words. That's first thing I want to say.
I mean, my kiddishness is always still there, and
That's
it's
what I
always
love
good
about you, and I believe that's what everybody is able to connect with you because everyone has a child inside them. But
Correct.
because of our professionalism or whatever they call it,
Yeah.
right? We don't show it.
Correct.
And but you don't have that inhibition, and you are just being
there,
yourself
yeah.
out there, and you're just enjoying it. And everybody would love to be and do what you do.
Correct.
And I think we all should do it, and we all should
Definitely.
learn.
Just follow
So,
your passion and you'll be happy.
one thing here is, so this is what he normally does. But there are times when he comes to me and says, Dad, shouldn't I be a little more professional? I said, no, don't do that. Okay, just be yourself.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, everybody has a child in them
Yeah.
that's waiting to come out, right?
True.
I mean, end of the day, no matter how serious you are, the second you're with your friends,
Exactly.
like I've seen my grandfather, like he's like the big man in the house. But the second he's with his friends, he's like that kid there. So no matter the age, I mean, you should just be natural. And that's what happened, I think, in the past 30 years. From being that professional, wearing suit and going to office, you wear casuals, look at Mark Zuckerberg or somebody, who is just
Their
casual.
marketing.
Casuals, yes. Yeah.
And the attitude in the office, a Google environment or Adobe environment, it's completely different from what we had here a long time back. And we are changing.
I mean, like so the reason I asked Papa, should I be more professional at some events, is that I become interactive, I talk, I have fun. But some events, like the big events, like India Today and all, I was like, should I interact with the audience? Will they interact back? Should I be more professional? They're all wearing suits, coats. Sometimes I think, should I be a bit professional? But then I'm like, I'm the kid that's wear hoodies and just goes on the events. Like, why? Just be myself, and yeah.
That's also something I'm curious to know. Like when you meet adults, do they actually take you seriously? Because they know that you're 16-year-old, right? They know they have learned, probably they know about you from the social media, but do they really take you seriously?
I mean, so yesterday I had Jitex. So because I look very young, they were like, you can't enter. I'm like, this is my ID card. I can enter. They're like, no, you don't look. I'm like, I am. I can show you my business card. I'm a
No,
founder.
but you couldn't enter. You're supposed to be 21.
Yeah. But still, I mean, I'm a founder.
Yeah.
I'm doing all these things. And I felt that, no matter if you're a student or anything, any age can do, even if you're retired. That's what I feel. And I feel anyone should be able to enter. But it's not just about that. Most of the adults support me, right? But there are a lot of adults that judge me from the time they see, like, who is this kid coming on the stage and starting to just talk, right? But by the end, they're very interactive. They like the session. So it's good. But a lot of people, they like, okay, cool. Like, just a child just trying to come and just say stuff. Like, they try to teach me. I'm like, okay, sure. I just be silent. I don't go to say anything. But I do try to learn whenever I can. But they teach the same thing which I know. And they say, no, you're wrong. This. I'm like, Okay.
Just listen.
Yeah.
So again, what happened yesterday in Jitex was finally, he was just running around, taking videos and all those things, and suddenly the Google team, one of them just called him, "Hey Rahul, come here."
So one day before that, I went there. I was like talking to them. It's like Google Beam, it's closed. I was like, it's fine. So I thought they were like next day 4 o'clock, be here 4:30. I was like, okay. So next day 4:30, I couldn't be there. So the evening I just went. I was just shooting some influencer things, shooting like Google that. I was just showing. They were like, call me. I was like, sorry, I couldn't be there. So they were like, it's like, oh, is it? They were like, okay. But I was like, can I have your contact? They were like, yeah, why not? They were the official team who developed Google Beam, if I'm not wrong. So they were like, okay. Then they went, and then one of them came back running to me. He's like, do you want to see it right now? I was like, it's all closed, right? You closed everything, you're about to leave. Like, it's fine. Do you want to see it? I was like, yeah. Like, because I've seen from Marcus Browning, I've been following Google Beam, and the latest tech always I follow. And it's like, I want to try it so badly. They saw it in my eyes. So I showed it off. They were like, crazy. Do you want to see the rest of the story?
No, I mean, what happened was everything was closed. They reopened it, okay, and they're pretty senior team,
Yes.
okay, and I saw them interacting with each other, talking about Google stuff and their Pixel phone that he's crazy about, and him accepting that, okay, this phone, yeah, we did that, but from this on we did this. I was like amazed at they were having a proper conversation, not like adult child there at
conversation,
all.
yeah.
And that's when after that they said, okay, you know what, we are opening it for you. I want you to come back. We were about to leave. They said, Raul, come back here. We are opening it for you. And I was so excited. I was like, as a father, I was like, wow, is this
yes.
happening in front of me?
Yes.
And then they set up the whole thing again, okay, and just for him. And I was watching the whole thing, the conversation they had
through the Google Beam, yeah.
with the technology there. I was wondering what's happening.
Google Beam is crazy.
Okay,
Imagine you can take the apple from front of you, shake your hands, but they're not in front of you. They're in New York, you're in India. But you can literally feel like, the apple right being in front of you. It's crazy.
And the thing is, they haven't given this technology to anybody. They haven't
Shown it to anybody.
They
as
haven't shown
such.
to anybody except I think very few influencers. That is Marcus Brown is one of them,
Okay.
and not anybody else. I don't think anybody
Yeah,
else.
it's not. You're saying it's not open to the public.
Yeah, it's not. Okay, and
So that was a very proud moment for you, where you had a bad experience, where you were not even allowed to enter because of age, but people who actually saw your caliber, like the
Yeah,
Google
like,
development team
yeah.
from US, they were then able to actually they did not see your age. They just saw what you are capable
my
of,
excitement
right?
and whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what I respect.
Today morning, they took the videos.
Okay.
Not me, because my video taking ability is pretty bad. They took the videos, they sent it to me, and this Ashley congratulated him, told me how proud I am and how I should be. And they actually said, you know what, it's specifically mentioned there, no videos, no photos. And he just literally told me that, he can just use it anywhere on his platform, social media.
Because
I'm-
you are
I'm-
not allowed to record inside, because the way you have to record it should be correct, because when you're there only you can experience it, right? You know the real feeling. That's why they don't want to record. But they were like, it's fine, we'll record and you can actually use it. I was like so freaking happy, and I was like so happy that they let me do it, and I respect them so much for that.
Yeah, actually, that's what my question was all about. There are definitely people who would respect you for your caliber, your capacity, your knowledge, and it should not matter. Age should not be a barrier for anything.
Correct.
Right? As long as you are knowledgeable than me, I should respect you.
Correct.
So there are a few people, especially when you're on social media, who literally put him down, okay, who bully him, and I think there was this one instance that he literally said a lot of bad things about him, okay, calling him a clown, okay, and
But I just see it as a fun thing. I'm just getting more comments.
he
Please
he
come.
didn't mind. He didn't mind, but my cousin, he just went around, searched for him. I was shocked to see that person has got a daughter who is pretty successful.
Okay.
And she has got her own social media platform.
Okay.
And such a person is saying very similar, very bad things about her kid. So I was just wondering, how people work.
What's the mental space of such
Absolutely.
a person?
That is kind of shocking to me.
Yeah.
he told me not to react. I mean, I wouldn't react either, but I was, we think.
Yeah, we think what could be his mental state when he comes from that space and talk to a child or a kid who is probably doing better than him.
Yeah,
It could
I
be
mean,
from
I
that
don't
space,
know,
or
but
it could be from some.
I mean, I
other-
get people that getting kind of jealous and stuff, but it's okay. But what I see it as, I got a hate comment now. All the people, then we got a lot of people who are supporting me, replying to that. His class are great. What are you saying? This, that. I was like, wow, like I felt happy that people are there to support me. And obviously, as you grow, you will have more and more haters.
Yes.
I just have to learn to accept that.
There will always
know?
be haters around you, even if you're not a social media personality. Even as professionals, you
Correct.
can't please everyone.
Correct,
around
definitely.
You can't please.
And they just want to pull you down. There will be. And my that is, pull me down, but I'll go up and up, right? That's what I will try to do.
I like that spirit. I like it. So since you talked about pulling yourself, pulling you down, right? People pull you down. Is there any failure or a mistake from which you have learned more than what you were taught at school?
A lot of failures. I mean, everything which I just said here about, you have to be more human in the AI world, this, that, even about creating a robot, everything. The robot which I created one day before it fell down, before I had to exhibit the next day. It was crazy. And even when I went to the Mumbai conclave, I had to go till there, and the courier, it was broken by the time I was in there. The wire, everything broke, so I couldn't present it rightly there as well. So there are stuff like that happens, but then there are good stuff, right? But the main thing is you have to keep on going, not give up. That's the main thing. But some failures that have taught me is like, failures have taught me about law, just to keep going. Right? There was a one time when I edited 2 weeks videos and I didn't save it and I just lost. My father had remember, I literally cried.
So I think I know more than him.
Okay.
Okay.
About my failures.
Yeah, about his failures. So once what happened, he's very passionate about his YouTube. Okay. Next day is his exam. Okay, and the night he realized all the videos are deleted. Okay, his YouTube channel is hacked. Okay, and this was around 2 years back, and he couldn't sleep, and I didn't know what to do either. Like,
Even before AI and stuff, I was a YouTuber. So it's
okay, and then he somehow contacted the YouTube team. Whole night he sat, and morning when he went for the exam, I was just looking at what he did. I saw the whole chat. He was very persistent. He got his channel back. He was able to prove
Very
it.
good.
Yeah, he got his channel back. And the one is he made his AI video. He wanted to go and talk to somebody about it. So we are from Kerala. So I used to talk in Clubhouse. So he came there was a session on AI in Clubhouse. So I asked him, why don't you just come over and talk?
Okay.
Okay.
I can market my video, right?
So he came and he tried to talk, but the others put him down. Okay. Like, okay, fine, Raul, fine. And I didn't say anything. I thought, okay, let him go through it.
Yes.
Okay, he need
Learn
to
from
know-
it.
Yeah, learn from it. Okay, and then what he did was next day he opened his own room in Clubhouse, sat there. He sat there for at least 4 hours. Nobody joined. Okay, nobody joined. I didn't say anything. I said, try. I knew what to. I actually knew what he should have done next, but I didn't tell him.
Okay.
Next thing I know is he went to the English rooms.
Okay.
Okay. And then from them, Sajna, there was no turning back. Okay. They were very supportive. Okay. They were helpful. They offered him a lot. Westerners.
Especially Laura.
Yeah. So Westerners, they pay a lot of money. Right? They want to give you money when you do something. He didn't take any money. So what they did is they used to give him subscriptions. ChatGPT subscription. There was a
I was
person
able to
who made
experiment.
a website for him. The website domain for him, registered
Yeah.
domain for him.
RaulTheRockstar.com.
Yeah. Okay, and a lot of people.
They were like, someone else will take it, so rich.
One of the person who saw it as the one who said, can you take training in my school? Okay, in US. So he said, why not?
Why not?
He went and did that. And all those things, small things that you do in the past, I think he went and blurted this out in one of the interviews on Reporter TV.
Okay.
That's all. What? You thought in UK, US? What?
US.
And I have seen him taking trainings for, business people, where they actually sit
And listen.
listen to it, and they're surprised. Not that he's a kid, okay? They're surprised that AI can do these things, and they wanted to learn more.
More about
That's when I realized that he could do these things. So, but all these, trust me, he was persistent. I'm not saying it because he's my son and all these things.
So I'm not your son.
Okay, so I don't want to answer that question. No?
I screened it in a lab, guys.
Okay. Good you said like that.
Truth coming out. So that was the one secret that he wanted.
So he's been very persistent. 2 years back, if you ask me, is he a prodigy, or I would say nothing. Okay, he just knew the basics, and that's all that he knew. But today, if somebody asks me if Raul knows something, I can confidently say that he knows something.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everything.
Yeah, but something.
He knows something. Only thing is, if he doesn't know something, he'll just move back, go learn, and come.
back.
That reverse psychology thing.
Another thing about me is one of the failures. So I promoted this 30-day challenge, okay?
Okay.
First day, how many people joined? Like a lot. Around 20K people joined right there in the live, okay? That's how much I promoted it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Before that. And what happened is there was 10 minutes. I come from school running. There was one day where I almost got got hit by a car because I come because 4:30 my school gets over, 5 o'clock is the live. Because US, Sweden, there are people around the world attending, so the time needs to be correct. So 5 p.m. and I have my school. So I come home, and that's why I said the one day I was about to fall. But anyway, so that day I came home, I started the live. I'm like, I just started it. 10 minutes, a lot of people are there. The live got taken off. Because I am a minor. Apparently, 13 years, till you're 13, you can't be. I don't look like a 16-year-old, right? But 16-year-olds can do live alone. I'm like, I'm 16, this, that, here's my ID card. They're not letting me do it. And that many people I lost the first day. And I was like, sheesh, I worked so hard to get this work so I can teach these people, and now suddenly the live's gone. I'm getting messages, this, that. And I ran from school. Every day I ran from school just so I can do the 30-day challenge. It's all upon my YouTube. And that was not the best experience, I lost a lot of people that day that could have learned about AI just because I look young. That was another thing. So, things like that just keep on happening, but the trick is to just keep on going.
Keep on going.
Yeah, because that day, I'll tell you, even in our India today, the robot was talking, okay? Because like I said, I had to do something else that whole night. I did not sleep so I could fix the robot. But I did that, and there's some problem with the internet, and the first thing, it answered my first question, second question, third question, it didn't answer. In front of everyone, in front of the whole India Today thing. I was like, shit. But I didn't show it there. I was like, okay, Bluetooth, turn off speaker, and then it worked. It replied. But that thing people saw, and that ruined the whole thing, kind of. I felt, but apparently everyone liked it. That's what my father said, that it was actually very good. But yeah, things like that happen, but sometimes the first India Today was very successful. You have that success. 1 year back, I didn't imagine I'd be going internationally, 2 places, so that people call me for companies to take a session. Internationally. My dream was to go international, go step out of India. And I'm in Dubai. What? So it's and I'm in conference. I just met the official team of Google. I'm collaborating with Zoho. I can't imagine what I am doing right now. I can't believe I'm in the podcast. Right? Yeah. I can't believe I'm doing podcast. Do I even deserve it? Things like that just blow my mind sometimes. Fact that I'm able to do all this, I'm very happy, and I'm very happy. But yeah, there are some setbacks. That is life. Life. It's an adventure, and you just have to enjoy the journey, because the destination is not what's important. The journey is, right? And that's what you have to enjoy.
I think this is a mic drop moment. We don't have to continue anymore. Because what you said is true, right? And that's a learning for all of us, that you fail, but you get back up and just go ahead. Keep going.
Correct.
And I believe that this is what our schools don't teach.
Correct.
Right?
Definitely.
Our schools,
life skills.
Life skills, and also doesn't even teach how to fail. How to fail and get back up and run.
Definitely. Communication, how to manage money, a lot of things they don't teach. I love my school, okay? I do. But these things just have to improve. Because education is one main thing a lot of other countries focused on, and that's why they grew, and India needs to do the same.
So, if you're given this opportunity to redesign the education system, where would you start?
You just
and
had
how
to
would-
ask me that.
Yeah, like tomorrow you're the education minister of India, for example. How would you redesign the education system?
So I created a 1.5 minute video talking about what I wanted to improve.
Okay.
So I'll just say that, I guess. But
Sure.
in short, there have been a lot of things. Okay, let's start from creativity. You know how creativity works is very simple. You learn from the knowledge you have gained. For example, the printing press, how textbooks and all like the printed was discovered because a person, Gutenberg, I don't
Yeah,
know how to pronounce
Gutenberg.
Gutenberg. He saw grape juice falling on top of falling inside a glass, and he also saw a king's face being stamped into a coin. He thought, why not take the same like ink or grape juice, put stamp letters. That's how the printing press was invented, right? That's how creativity works, right? And I believe schools should not be inside four walls, but rather let us explore, have fun, learn by doing, right? That is when things outside the textbooks we'll be able to learn knowledge and get knowledge from things we won't even expect. The textbook writers won't expect. And that's how we can innovate to get to the next thing, right? So more freedom, more practical knowledge, learn by doing. And I'm not just saying learn with sulfuric acid. That's one of the comments I got. No, and you have to be safe, obviously, but that's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You have to learn by having fun, not inside, by having laughing, just like you
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
having fun with
And
what you're doing.
experiential learning is
Correct.
what you're saying.
And if I had to change the education system, it won't be the textbooks won't be updated every 18 years, right? That's the reality in India,
that's
right?
true. That's true.
That should be updated way more faster. See, I'm not the minister. I don't know the logistical limitations and all. But obviously, I wouldn't want 18 years. Then there should not be education. Why am I learning something old which is outdated? My friend who just finished political science, he learned IPC. But while he was learning that, it got changed to BNS sections, the law, right? What is the use of him learning IPC? Right? So it should be updated way more faster. We should be learning about AI right now. What are we learning? Education as a whole needs to be centralized. Some states are way good at it. Some states are very bad at it. We need to have a centralized education as well. Not just some states integrating AI, some not, some CBC schools having AI, state governments not even learning. Personally, I go to a government school, right? And in IT, I learned how to use Microsoft Excel, how to use Microsoft Paint. I'm like, okay, cool. So things like this really need to be changing.
It's also creating a barrier between people who have access to newer things and students who have access to newer things and those who don't, and that's creating kind of a discrimination and differentiation as well.
Definitely. And that's why, the AI course, why I'm doing it for free is so that at least the basics of AI, right? All these AI courses I'm doing it for free. There's a lot of people do it for paid. I want people to have this knowledge for free because at least the basics should be accessible to everyone. Everyone should be part of the future. Why should they be having money to be part of the future of AI, right? Like, yeah.
That's the impact you're creating right there.
Thank you.
Now, let me ask you, Aju, how would you redesign the education system?
I mean, like you said, our education system is completely outdated. Number one, we are creating robots. Okay, just go work, come back. We are not taught life skills at all. When I say life skills, it's basic. It's as basic as talking to the other person, especially your opposite sex.
Yeah.
Completely not taught.
Yes.
Take care of your daily needs. Okay, you suddenly finish all your studies, your graduation, and you have to go and work. You have to stay somewhere, and you don't know how to wash your clothes, take care of your, cooking, your house. It's like in our place, only women get to do cooking.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's kind of changing. It's high time, right?
True.
Everyone, they say in India, parents love their daughters more than sons, right? Because they teach their daughters how to cook, how to take care of the husband, all those things. And sons, they don't know anything.
They just leave them. Yeah.
They're not taught how to do finances.
Yeah.
That's sad. tell people about investment, people are like, don't. That's the
Yeah,
first thing our society
true.
would say, don't.
Yes.
Is people say, I don't want to work, I want to do business. They say, no,
No.
right? Then how are we as a country going to grow if you do not have businesses? Okay, you need to give more jobs. You need to be an employer rather than an employee.
Employee.
That's we don't have basic infrastructure,
Yeah.
roads. Why? Because people do not understand the,
The need of it.
right? You need to get one stuff to another place. You need proper roads. So now things are changing. I hope it changes, and the education system. If it base civics, economics.
Basic civics.
I never took all this seriously when I was a kid. You don't know, right? Like the application Raul is
Yeah.
building up, letting every citizen know their rights. Do you know your rights? No.
No.
You don't go and complain. You don't go to police. Everybody takes you for granted, right? So you need to know about all these things, and these are your basic life skills. Okay, if you know that, I think, and the best part is, the same Indians, okay, who don't learn all this, they go outside their country.
Yeah.
They're very successful.
Successful, yes.
Okay, so I hope it changes back, and because they're used properly.
True.
Okay,
Yes.
they're used properly.
Their
Yeah.
calibers, our capacity is used properly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
And the environment also matters, as you mentioned, right?
course.
The environment definitely matters.
So what the environment again? So why do I want my son to do all this? Okay, it's because so my society can have a better future after 20, 30 years. It's not going to happen all of a sudden. It's gradual.
Gradual,
Right? So when he says he wants to have a better place, we need to have places like, look at Dubai. Okay,
yes.
everything is followed, rules, clean. People think twice before taking a wrong turn.
Yeah.
The same people.
I mean, in India, we have everything, right? We have like the mountains, the beaches, the deserts, the everything, right? Developed areas, right? But at the end of the day, like we have malls also. Like we have literally everything that Dubai has. Dubai had to build it artificially and take it
Yes.
out, right? But we have that. We can make it big. Just take Kerala. It has the mountains. It has the
Yeah, it
beaches.
has
It
the
has
nature.
it has nature. It has the developed too. Second biggest mall in India.
Yes.
Everything is there. They could easily make it. But the thing is that no one is doing it, right? We can easily do a lot of things, but we need it to improve, right? Just like Dubai or any other country out there, like US and all, we need to improve that. And one more thing is that my father's talking about me, like, like people need to be independent, right? One of the things that my father had told me when I was young is that do how much ever big thing, okay? It's fine. You do whatever you want, small or big, but be a good human at the end of the day. That's what he told me. That's what matters, right?
Yes.
Being independent, not getting someone else, being a burden to someone else, and you being a good human. That's what my father and my mother even told me. So
Yeah, I believe those are the good lessons which is making you the person who you are and who is defining your purpose.
Correct.
You said that you want to create an impact and do something for the people around. And even when you said that you were giving these AI courses for free, which people generally charge, it's also from that thought process
Correct.
that everybody should have equality to some extent.
Correct.
At
The
least from
basics at least should be free,
the learning
right?
point of view, yes.
yeah.
I think there are at least 3 people who told Raul to pay it forward.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And those people actually was a part of his life. I mean, not part of his life. They came into his life to do something huge and didn't take anything back.
Like, for example, Danish, who I just said, one of my mentors, he has helped me a lot. He's still helping me a lot, mentoring me. TB, he has been helping me a lot. A lot of people have been, I believe life is that, there's no aim for life. People are born, life's mission or what do you do in life, why are we born? I feel people just change people, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Like, and I believe, so one day I was just going to school, okay? My cycle broke down, I was being late. Okay, I go and cycle. And there was this just one uncle who came, gave his kid's cycle's knob, he tightened it, fixed my cycle, and he's like, go quickly. Do you want me to leave you? I was like, no, it's fine. And he's just like, I was like, what can I do? He's like, no, just pay it forward. And I've never seen him after that. I look for my hand not. Sometimes I do. So it's just like some people just come, and that's why I say, like, people change people, and I've always noticed that.
I have nothing to say about it because you said it all. right? How you impact others, and when you give others, it'll come back to you in some other way.
Correct. And that's why, I believe if you are not humble, the world will humble you no matter what.
True, that's very true actually.
So that is why, like, that's not the reason I'm humble, but that is why you should kind of at least help others because it will come back to you no matter what.
Karma.
Yeah.
Karma, right? Okay. Now it's a bit of some personal questions. When all the cameras are off and when you go back to your room, who is Raul?
I mean, I am the same Raul. I just go right now. If I go, I'll just be posting a few stories of the last 3 days, and like LinkedIn and stuff like that. But I'll be playing games. I'll be talking to my friends on Insta, like, what about school, this, that, because I've not gone to school, right? I'll be like, I'm bringing Konaf for you guys, write my notes because they're helping me write it, most of the guys. So just paying me, that's it.
So you are just you everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, his friends don't treat him with respect.
I-
He is not a prodigy there.
I'm
And I
not-
love seeing that.
Yeah.
That's how I like to be treated. I don't want to be anyone special or treated like that. I mean, I do like when someone comes, takes a picture with me. I'm like, oh wow,
yeah.
But it's like, but I don't want to be treated as someone big or something. No, I just want to be just one among them. Just
Have you inspired your friends?
that I think they always ask me, can I get a job in your workplace? I'm like, no, how much do you earn a month? I'm like, stop. It's like, just give me a job. I'll work for you I'll clean the toilets. I'm like, what? No. It's like, yeah, but they are curious about what I do and all. But I'm very happy that, in one way, they all trust me as a good friend. They tell me stuff and I'm very happy I can be a good friend to them, hopefully.
Actually, he has got 3-4 very good friends who have been literally with him.
Amazing.
Even at his, that moments when I could not be with him.
Okay.
They've been with him overnight, talk to him on phone, make him laugh, be like a joker. And those things actually, you see them, he's safe.
True. You always need that safe space, right? You
Correct.
always need those people who actually believe in you and who loves you.
Definitely.
And that's what keeps you going.
Correct, definitely. I mean, trust me, I'm not here because of me. I'm here because of all the support. Each person who's come in my life and gone, I'm here because of that. Each people that has supported me, bring me up, taken success. That's why people change people, right?
Yes.
They come in my life, they do their work, and they just go. And yeah, the support is what matters.
Yeah, these guys, they see at times these angry comments or...
They comment for me.
Yeah, they go and they go, how
They
does you don't even know.
They are your bodyguards.
Yeah, bodyguards.
And
Like
they are actually. There was a time when he was bullied.
a lot.
Okay, he was
Because of my
he was in a private school.
Okay.
He was bullied like hell.
Okay.
First of all, his size is only so much. So imagine 10 years back, right? And then I shifted him to a government school, a public school, and I was scared initially. Okay, but when I see that this is not Raul the rock star. Okay, this was some time back when he was a normal class student. I see that he has won elections. People vote for him, and the way I think he has got out of 120, he has got around 180 something, right? Votes. Okay, I like the way his friends treat him. All those things that, as a father,
even now in my school, I make sure I don't have any enemies. Right? I'm friends with the guys, the girls, the teachers. I'm like, I don't want to have any enmity. Enemy, is that a word? I don't know.
Any grudge.
Any
enemies.
grudge, with
So
anyone.
you were already a popular kid.
No, not
much
a
before you
popular.
became a Raul the rock star.
Not popular and all, but I used to go for everything from poem writing to story writing to acting. I still love acting. Any directors looking at this, please. I'm joking, but yeah, I still love acting.
You
and
could
stuff.
probably create an AI avatar of yourself who can act. Because
Good
you already
idea.
have a lot
I
on
used
your
to create
plate.
short films. Ant-Man and all, shoot by myself, this, that. I
interesting.
made Papa act in one. It's like,
again, he's the first.
like, yeah.
So you have directed him.
Yeah. Like, go there, left, like, call Raul, knock.
Yeah.
So is it all on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's all up on my
So I
channel.
should go and check all of that out, right?
For my first ever video showing off my room, my bed, even my bathroom, it's like, I'm just showing stuff off, but yeah.
Great. I'll definitely check them out. Now, as a father, sometimes it could be very challenging to see your son balancing different things like the business and your life, and then being a student. How do you manage it?
It's very tough. It's very tough. It's, yeah, he'll say he's enjoying it. He
Yeah.
might be enjoying it, but sleep, food, and pressure
That's
of
the only
work,
place where he's my father, sleep and food.
pressure from those people he has to create, he has to create content for, pressure for creating the presentations the next day, pressure for building and his tools from, because he's late by so many days. He's completely busy. There are times when I'm sure he also wished that there are 48 hours in a day, and
I need to more than 24.
it's not easy. It's really not easy. He's doing a good job, and that's what he was saying earlier. I want him to be more disciplined.
Yeah.
And between all that, his friends, okay, I mean, they're very understanding. I have to say that they are very understanding. They're very forgiving. Okay, and it's not because he's Raul the rockstar, but it's because they are very close. Okay, so those ways, yeah, it's
One of my closest friends, Mebin, I call him like once a week. He messages me, I call him. He doesn't care. He's like,
his friends called me.
Ah,
No, I'm not joking.
interesting.
His friends called me. I said, "You call your friend directly, man. Where you call me? He will not pick
He's
up the
not
phone."
picking the phone, so please.
And I understand why he's not able to pick up the phone too, right? I
True,
mean,
yes.
see, everybody, lot of people demanding so much time. People think he's pricey, but he wants to be with everyone. It's not possible.
True.
I don't tell. I mean, as a father, I would actually expect him to go do a lot of things for me. Bring my dishes, bring this, bring that, bring this. I actually don't tell him all that because I actually think twice and I'm like, no. Except for some things, I made some rules at home. You have to do these things.
These basic things.
Yeah, basic things. But that he
being
has
independent, right?
Yeah.
How, like I said, how much ever big I become, I have to do the basic things. And
I want to make sure he survives on his own too, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So,
Actually, you reminded me of Indra Nooyi, the CEO of the previous CEO of PepsiCo.
Yeah.
Once she became the CEO and once she used to come back home, her mother used to say that you can leave that crown outside in the garage because once you come here, you are a mother and you are a wife and you're a daughter. So you have that basic responsibilities which you have to cater to. And I believe that's what your father is teaching you as well.
that is true. But then, the same thing, right? You should understand that she's in Janui.
True. Yes.
She is going through a lot of pressure.
Exactly. Yeah.
She is coming back home. She needs to rest.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
you just can't come and say, your kids are there, your mother's there. You can't do it. Cook food. No, you can't do that. That's too much on any person. Whether it's Indra Nooyi, whether it's Raul, whether it's any person who is working, work is work. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of your brain working. So you have to give them the space. End of the day, you come home to rest, right?
Yes.
So if you give them another help, some people, I know people who just don't go home. Why? I know women who used to work in my office. They stay in office just so they don't go home. Okay, because once they go home, they have to, their mother-in-law shouting at them, their kids saying, yeah, this, and the husband's not being supportive. It's hell. And these women are really smart women, right? But suddenly, when they go home, they're treated like women. I actually literally have to say this, women, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of sad. So people have to be more understanding, more accommodating, because if a guy, he says, I'm working,
Yes.
he does not get to take care of his child,
No.
right? So they have to understand that, man. I know my father, my uncles, I see how supportive they are towards their wives, my aunties. Okay, they literally do everything together, including farming, washing clothes. They farm together. They're all retired. They still do all that. It makes me feel proud that I'm from such a family at one point of time. So my father, he never enters kitchen because my mother told him not to. Told him not to. And then she craves. But then again, I've seen my father wake up early in the morning, make sure he goes and drops her to her work, drops his kids. He would never have proper sleep. So these are the things that no matter how busy you are, whether you're home or the other person, they should understand. Whether it's your mother-in-law, it's your mother, they should understand. Otherwise, Stay out and leave. Go
The
out and
not
leave.
sleeping part is in the genes, right?
No, that's a very important point because as women and even as men, men are becoming able to become successful because they have a very strong support system at home, right? Because that's why they say behind every man there is a woman, definitely, and a family.
Absolutely.
Similarly, for women also, if they have to be successful, they need a support system.
Absolutely.
Correct.
And many people ask me, how do you do all of this? You have a 9 to 5 job, you have a twin, you have just 3.5 twin baby boys, you're doing podcasting, and now I'm going to be on TEDx. I would need some
Correct.
tips from you. So,
No.
how do you do all of this? And I say that I have a really strong support system at home. I have my parents. Now when I was coming down, my son, one of them, has influenza A. We just got to know when I was coming here. So I took him to the hospital and I did all of that because my husband is not here. He's back in India. But I could leave him at home and be here and be present here because I know that he is in good hands. He is in safe hands. So that's extremely important what you mentioned, that a support system is required for anybody.
And it has to be earned too. Most of the people, I just interrupted you here because
Sure.
people say, I don't have anybody. Okay, why don't you have anybody? Because you didn't do those
What
things
is
for them.
required. Exactly.
Right?
Oh my God, very good.
You just didn't do that for them.
Yes, yes.
Otherwise, if you're complaining, trust me, it's your fault. And I am lucky. Like even right now, I'm with my friends. I can just go out. Okay, if I didn't go to Jitex with him yesterday, I had my friends dropping him, picking up. Today morning, my friend made sure that she took him all the way, dropped him back here, and then went back.
I was like, you can just, we went to the Future Museum. I was like, I can go back alone. You just have to, I'll get a taxi and I can go back. It's like, no, I'll go back, drop. And she was already late for Jitex.
Okay.
I didn't go today because the last 2 days I get what I wanted, but I didn't want to. I was tired. So I was like, I'll go back. So she was like, I'll go in the taxi, I'll go. You can go to the Jitex. Jitex is right beside Future Museum, right?
yeah.
So, but she was like, I'll go back, drop you, and come back, and I'll go. I'm like, you're already getting late. It's already 12:30. Like, what's the use? It's like, it's fine. She made sure I was safe.
Yeah, so that's very important, the support system around you, and that's also the reason, as you mentioned earlier, is a reason for your success.
Correct. Definitely. I mean, support by everyone. That's a very big part of my success.
I mean,
I don't know if I'm successful and all. There's a long way to go, but yeah.
However successful you are until now.
Yeah.
No, I mean, again, one thing I would just like to add here is teachers, right? So teachers are the people who have, I know everything. Like they have that. They don't
They have
want
their
to
mindsets.
learn. Okay, I was surprised one day when he just sent me the videos. One of his teachers said, can I take Raul to so and so school? I said, okay, fine. They asked my permission. They took. Next day, she sent me the videos of him taking classes of her colleagues who are teachers. Okay, and today, Raul is asked to take classes by his teachers, all the schools around him. Okay, the government schools. They call me up and say,
Okay.
can we take? I said, don't talk to me about
No,
it.
talk to Raul.
Talk to the headmistress.
Okay.
Or the teacher. Okay, they are responsible for
fine.
Raul, and the headmistress also. I told her, you don't have to ask me for permission because these teachers have been very supportive to Raul. Not in the past 2 years, but from the past 6-7 years that he has been with them. I've literally seen him. Once I was going to school, he was a part of Scout, and
As a troop leader.
okay, and she was with the teacher, sitting like this. Okay, like her own son. Type, okay. I was like, I never got all this in my school, right? I had very caring teachers too, but this is to an extreme level.
True.
That's how people have changed. I only wish our education system also changes. And things are going to change now.
That's great. Now, what scares you most about the future you're helping build with AI?
I mean, whatever I talk about, see, when I say that AI won't take your job, I tell it based off history, like computers, that everyone tried to take a job, right? It did take a lot of jobs, but we got a lot of jobs back. Like, without the internet flourishing, we won't know that we need something to search the internet, like Google, right? So, first AI need to flourish, then only we will know what all we need, right? But I'm scared, what if the things I'm talking about, what if it is not right? What if there is a doubt? What if history doesn't repeat itself? Like Industrial Revolution, every time it repeated. What if that doesn't happen here? What if it's just a bubble, right? I try my best to support it. I try my best not to happen. but as a human I can be wrong too, right? My whole aim is to make sure that that doesn't happen, and we are building a future that's safe, that AI doesn't kill us all, but that's safe, that's respectful, that has policies, and that's best for everyone. Because see, it can't ever be white and black, but trying my best to take it to the white.
So, are you working? Because you mentioned about the policies and governance which needs to be in place. So are you working with? Because I know that you're working with governments. Are you working in that context, or is it just in terms of the applications you're creating?
So I'll tell you one thing. Like I said, I'm in different ways. For example, the reels I create is so that I can get people into AI. Just showing that you can change find your perfect better dress or finding perfect hairstyle. I'm just showing the problem, and then at the end I just say, yeah, there's an AI tool. This is the name. I don't even specify it's an AI.
Okay.
So even if you don't know the AI, you just download this app, you try it out. They don't have to know it's AI, right? Like that's how I started using AI.
Okay.
And on YouTube, I try to simplify AI, try to get it accessible to as much as people, right? And so it's like I'm trying my best to help solve that problem there. About not just the policies, but getting people into
People
it.
can understand.
And the tools I create is so that I can solve these problems, from law to DevOps, being able to just put your project link, automatically hosting it on the cloud and stuff, right? Because you can create everything now, create any product with vibe coding. You can just type what your product you want. You can create the full product, right? So you can launch it, right?
Yeah.
But putting it in the cloud is hard. So imagine you can just put your project, it'll automatically deploy it, find the cheapest and all. So that is ZapCap and stuff. So whatever I try to do, try to solve a problem that people might be facing, right? And even when I work with the governments, I try my best to do that. But right now, I'm not in that power that I can do a lot of changes.
In policy or
Yeah,
governance.
correct, policy
But
or
probably
anything.
in future,
Correct.
you would
I did have, so there was an interview which I had in AIM, so live debate, and there was a policy maker in the Indian government from there. So I was talking about from the education side what we need, because in China, they already started using AI for young kids and stuff. So it's another story. But I was talking about to the policymaker how we could change and stuff. So I'm trying my best to do that as well.
to create that awareness. As you were mentioning, in UAE also they have announced that AI is coming into the classrooms. We are yet to see. I have children who have not yet to be in schools yet, but we are yet to see how that is going to impact our children. Because,
So
again,
they'll be getting in while that's happening.
yeah, and
when
that's
happening.
at that age. At the same time, I am also worried about how they will balance it, right?
Correct.
Because it's great to learn AI at such a young age, but will that at the end be overused so that they lose their creativity, they lose their, that's why I was very curious to know how did you balance it with Raul when you handed him a mobile, and how with all those guardrails, how did you do it? And
So-
yeah.
So please continue.
No. So that's why I was trying to understand. He told me something which he did personally, which is about watching you, even though he was not interrupting you. But from an education point of view, it's something very interesting to look at.
I was actually going to say, I think Raul can explain that better. How AI can integrate with you and make things better.
Better, yeah.
So I feel like in our education system, right, from first grade to 10th grade, we don't use calculators, right? In India, at least, from what I know, we use calculators from plus 1, plus 2,
Yeah,
like 11th and 12th. We can have something very similar with AI, right? We can teach AI as a different subject until 10th. And after that, we can show them how, just like maths and calculators, how you can do the same thing of math with the help of calculators much easier. You can do that with AI, right? Write the same essays with AI. So first, we can teach it separately, then we can teach it together,
Integrated,
right?
how to integrate.
Just like we did with the calculators. And that is very easy to do, so they can learn, they're using their brain, then finally they found out AI can do that, and at the same time they're learning about AI as well. So I feel that could be a solution to this.
Interesting. Let's see. Let's see
Yeah, let's see.
how governments are integrating
Yeah.
AI into the education system. Now, when you look back, for example, 20 years down the lane, you said 30, 25 and 30, you were saying, right? So 20 years down the lane, when you look back, what would make you feel proud if you did that? Like, okay, I did what I was meant to do. What would that be?
Making an impact, like when someone will come up to me and kind of say, oh, Raul, that actually helped me, right? Like right now they say about my videos and that stuff like that, which I'm very, very happy about. But like I said, something like a UPI, like I said, I don't have a goal of 30 or something, but creating that impact, that includes a video, that includes the tool or something like that, creating that impact, that would make me very, very, very happy when someone comes and says, Rahul, that rescue, it actually helped me from something happening to me. I was very scared. I was like, wow.
Okay.
That would be that moment.
That's the impact is what would make you proud, right?
Correct.
So, well, as we are wrapping up the podcast, I have two questions to both of you. What would be your message to all the youngsters who is listening to the podcast and also the adults?
I would just say, let the children follow their passion, and children do follow your passion. Use AI and be as human as possible and be humble. That's it.
Amazing.
Oh,
What about you?
I
What
wish
would be
I-
your message for, I would say specifically to parents and
I wish I could say it in 4-5 words. Like, first thing is, stop teaching your kids. You're outdated. Move on. Okay. Second thing is, let them grow. Let them learn from mistakes. If you think at the age of 20 your kid is not doing a good job, it's completely your fault. It's bad parenting. Okay, not leave 20, even if it has at the age of 10, if you cannot make breakfast, maybe a small egg omelette or something like that, you are a failure. Let them learn, right? Let them learn. If the kid cannot take bath, okay, wear the dress properly, go to school alone, travel on their own, clean their room. And, I've seen a lot of parents say, my kid now never cleans the
Cleans their
room
room.
and it's such a mess. I'm sorry, then you're a failure.
yeah.
I mean, that's it. So stay out of their life, guide them, take care of them, but only when it's required.
Only help them when they ask for help.
Correct.
Yeah, even when they ask, you can tell them how to do it.
Yeah.
Let them fail.
Find it. Let them find their own ways. Let them find their own paths.
I keep saying all this all the time. Let your child fall. Let them get hurt. Right? Let them get hurt. Otherwise, at one point of time, like for example, you're in our society, our kids are protected, right? Big time. And then you have schooling. Your parents do everything for you. Your food, lunch, transportation, your house, everything is taken care of. You don't have to earn nothing. You finish your graduation, you suddenly are in a place where you don't know how to live, right? You have to suddenly, like I said earlier, you have to take
do
care of
everything.
your homes.
You have to do everything.
And then you are asked to find a job.
True.
Finding a job, do you know what kind of job you're going to do? Yes, you have your degree with you, but did you actually learn what you're going to do with that degree?
No.
Did you get that degree for what you wanted to do? You're pushed to become a doctor or an engineer, right?
Yes.
Now, fine, you get that. You get a job. Once you get a job, then you're said, okay, you need to get married. Okay. Now, do you know how to find a partner? No. Do you know how to talk to one? No. Arranged marriage, you get them married. Okay, you are in love. You're not supposed to marry the person you love.
Love.
Okay, you're not. Okay, you need to get married to a person, your religion or your caste or whatever, blah blah blah, and forced to live with them. Once you have to live together, do you know what the other person wants? Okay. I've said this
You can
before.
go on and on.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you don't know. I
No,
mean,
no.
including you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a huge failure. Fair enough. You fail that, you have a baby. Right? Do you know how to take care of a baby? Again, it's a vicious circle
It's
again.
a cycle,
right?
yes.
And it's like you don't have kids. They come and tell you. The whole society tells you, have kids, have kids. They don't even teach you how to bring up a kid.
Yeah.
Right? Now, once you
How to
have
parent.
one kid, then they say, have another kid ASAP
Yeah.
because you're getting old or whatever. And then what happens? You have another kid. Now, as a father, as a mother, your life is screwed, right? You have work to manage, you have family to manage, you have each other to manage,
Yeah.
right? And suddenly,
Two children.
two children, you are so screwed,
It's true.
okay? And then none of the society comes to help you out.
Yeah.
Nobody is there to advise. I mean, they will give you advices, but Nobody is there to lend you a shoulder.
And the whole cycle repeats.
Yeah, and the whole cycle
Yeah,
repeats.
so learn the basics.
Learn the basics. That's in short.
Life is
And
not
also-
very,
yeah.
it's not very complicated. It's very simple.
Thank you so much for mentioning this. We make it complicated.
Yeah, totally.
Right? We make it complicated. It's
Absolutely.
actually very simple
Yeah.
if you know the basics and if you know how to live and just let others live.
Live and let live.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. You do whatever. I was talking to the environment minister of Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
What he said was, we have people from 200 countries in this
In this country. Mm.
Okay. They can do anything they want, but don't involve yourself with another other person, right? Don't litter. Don't make it hell for another person.
True.
It's as simple as that. So if you do that, I think it's pretty simple.
Yeah, and that's what I love about Dubai, because you have the freedom to pursue what you love to do. At the same time, in that there is a governance structure which makes sure that everybody thrives at the
Correct.
same time.
Yeah.
Great. Now, as we close, I have a rapid fire round. One word or one sentence answers.
Okay.
Okay, so first to you, Raul. If you could collaborate with any global innovator, dead or alive, who would that be and why?
I would say, oh God, okay. I have a lot, but who would I say? I mean, I would say Elon Musk. I mean, yeah, he is very passionate about what he does. He is a business guy, but at the end of the day, he does want to make, the world a better place. I feel he has the same dream. He, from Teslas to a lot of things, Tesla is not his company, but he took it and he had an idea of what the world could look like in the future, and that part of his, yeah.
Yeah, and if the way he makes things accessible for
Correct.
people, he does the Mars mission and everything else, and the space mission. Sorry,
Correct.
the space mission and everything else. He's making it, kind of trying to make it accessible for
Definitely.
normal people as well, which is good. What is one AI invention you wish you created?
Oh, AI invention. I guess ChatGPT, obviously. I mean, everything.
I knew that would be the answer.
Yeah.
If you could teach every 10-year-old one skill for their future, what would that be?
Just be a good human. I mean, that
An AI kid talking about being human.
yeah. I mean, that's what I would say. You don't have to learn the best AI and stuff. Just be a good human and just do what you like.
I love it.
Learn more.
Learn more, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Don't stop
I
learning.
like it because there should always be a balance between technology and your humanity. And
Correct.
that's when technology actually becomes a partner.
Part. Yeah. And enhances.
Exactly.
Yeah, that-
and enhances and amplifies your humanity.
Correct.
Great. What is something simple but totally non-technical which you love?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, there is a lot of situations where even just like creating electricity, how is it created? Just water going and that just turns the motor and it's just turning magnets that just creates electricity, right? It's just very cool how something very simple is just what's powering this. Everything, even like it doesn't have to be high-tech technology. Look at everything. It's actually very simple how they work. Even the lights to everything. It's basic laws of nature. And that's what I feel my education has kind of taught me as well. Chemistry, physics. So, yeah.
Okay. So my question was, what is that actually you like? What is something not related to AI but brings you joy?
Okay. That good. I mean, I like presenting things. I like talking about things. I like presenting. I like acting.
Acting, yeah,
like
you
I
mentioned
said.
it
So
earlier.
all these stuff is not related to tech. Like I
Tech,
said,
yeah.
with tech or without tech, I want to make the world a better place. So
Amazing. Now, few questions to you, Aju. One word that describes your son's work ethic.
Persistence.
Persistence. Yeah, grit. I believe it's grit, right? You have it in you. If you could give Raul one piece of advice for the next 10 years, what would that be?
Don't change. Follow your passion.
I love it. Don't change, be you. And that's what
Yeah.
I would say as
Be
well.
you.
I love who you are, so be you. If you could describe your son's journey in one word.
Amazing.
Amazing.
running out of words.
Running out of words, yeah. There is no words to describe
Yeah.
your journey. And I can imagine how I would feel if it were my sons who are sitting here, I would feel incredible. Like, what an incredible journey.
I mean, I should ideally use the word proud.
Proud, yes, you should use the word proud. Because we as parents, that's what we feel, right? We feel proud and we feel incredible that
Correct.
our children are achieving much more than what we are achieving.
Definitely. I mean, yeah.
that's
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aju and Raul. It was a pleasure to speak to you, and I absolutely loved this conversation.
Thank you so much for inviting me, letting me speak here. We actually met the topic of, coming for an event, but the
Yes.
fact that we were able to do such a good podcast. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're welcome.
It was such an insightful, session. I was able to learn a lot of stuff
Thank
as
you.
well. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Aju.
you.
I learned a lot from you about parenting, and I'm really going to keep in touch with you if you're okay about to learn how to parent my children better. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
In every generation, there are a few who reminds us that future isn't waiting to be discovered. They are the curators of it. Raul Aju is one of them. His journey isn't about being exceptional for his age, but it is about redefining what is possible at any age. He stands as a proof that innovation is not born in corner offices or billion-dollar labs, but in the minds of those who dare to question, build, and believe. And isn't that what leadership is truly about? Not power, not titles, but the determination to turn vision into action and action into impact. Stories like Raul's reminds us leadership isn't also about age, it is about courage. And courage, when shared between a father and a son, can build a future the world never saw coming. Thank you for joining us today on the Lead to Impact show, where the next generation isn't preparing for the future, they're already creating it.